Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, July 5th. As a reminder, the markets are closed on July 4th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I'll do a bonus analysis at the end. Couple of clarifications. Number one, if you would like for me to analyze a stock that I don't do here, just comment down below and I'll do my best to get to it. Second, the candlestick that you see right there is still moving around and changing. That's because the market's open here for a small amount of time. But I like to do these market or videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then finally, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represent 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol SIRI. Did this analysis in yesterday's top 10 video, and you can see that today came up, broke out through that area of resistance, broke out through that area of resistance, and just a very, very monstrous day. So moral of the story here, updates definitely need to be made. So I'm going to just go ahead and delete all those lines out as they serve their purpose for now. And one of the newest areas of support is what I would call the ideal level. I'm going to say, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? And that would be if the price can stay up there above $3.30. Now, don't get me wrong. If the price falls below $3.30, that doesn't mean the entire chart's destroyed or anything like that. But yeah, if the price could manage to stay above that level, that would certainly be a very, very impressive sign of power. But from the big picture point of view, it's all about that purple line right there, the 50-period simple moving average. Keyword being moving, because I understand price is way up here. This line's way down here. But as time goes by, that line will move itself higher and higher and get more and more relevant. So assuming you just care about the big picture point of view, as long as the price is above that purple line, the bulls 100% are in full health. Now, in terms of areas of resistance, going to go to the 4-hour time frame here, just meaning each of these represents 4 hours, because as you're seeing, we're having to go way back into the chart's history here because it's been such a long time since the price has been up this high. But next key area of resistance going to be right here at $3.77, which again is going back into April. So it's been a long time since the price has been up around this area. And you can see even here on the 4-hour time frame, price did a fantastic job of breaking up through the pink line right there, 200-period moving average. So moral of the story here, very, very good day for SIRI. Next one, ticker symbol MAXN, and this thing, and I should first note we are back on the 30-minute time frame, but this thing has been absolutely beat down. But what makes this interesting is, yes, there is a big gap down. Yes, it did even more bleeding, but then late day on Tuesday, the price has gone sideways, and that's continued to be the case here. But today, even bigger volume. Now, don't get me wrong, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because there is a huge move down and just because the thing has started to go sideways does not mean for sure guaranteed this is the bottom and for sure guaranteed this thing is going to bounce back upwards. My point here is it becomes more plausible at this point in time. Case in point, if the price was just dropping, and I was sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this could be the bottom, you'd be totally justified to say, what are you talking about? Based on what? The price is literally going down. But that's not the case here. It is going sideways, so it just brings about a lot more credibility that maybe, just maybe, this is some sort of bottom here that is forming. So on that note, nothing fancy here. Key level of support right there at 16.5 cents. No fancy reasoning other than, well, if this is some sort of bottom, well, then it needs to be the bottom. And the bottom right now is 16.5 cents, so you'd want to see the price stay up above it. If this thing is going to turn itself around and get any sort of upwards momentum, looking like the key break point going to be right there around 0.222. So keep an eye on that from, a kind of a breakout curling back up standpoint. But moral of the story here is if you like penny stocks that get absolutely destroyed, then start to go sideways, there can be some really good dead cat bounces that occur. Next one, ticker symbol NIO. An overall very, very solid move. Sure, it's pulled back here a little bit, but big picture wise, good solid upwards movement. And now you have a bit of a pullback, but nothing crazy and nothing that has ruined the chart by any means. And it once again goes back to these levels of what I would call the ideal support and then the overall level. So ideally, what would make the chart look the strongest and healthiest? Definitely if the price can stay above 475. But from the overarching standpoint, again, just follow that purple line way down here, but it is that moving average. So it'll move itself higher and higher, getting more and more relevant. So from the overarching standpoint, as long as the price does stay above there, then the overall trend is still plenty healthy. In terms of areas of resistance, no need to get fancy here, just basic logic and asking, where did the party stop today? That was essentially up there at $5. You can see several times the price got right up around that area, and each and every time the momentum disappeared. That's not to say that the price can never break above there, just saying that, that would be, the most straightforward way to kind of gauge where the sellers are at right now is right up around that $5 mark. But all things considered, very nice day here for NIO. Next one, PLUG. Again, very nice day on this one. It's definitely still work that needs to be done in a couple ways. So first level that I think a lot of people will be watching is this trend line right here, which has done a very good job of forecasting sellers. But the problem with that is even if the price breaks through there, don't get me wrong, that is a good thing. It's not a problem. But what you want to be very careful of is not that far away, you have the pink line there, the 200 period moving average, and that level right there could very realistically provide the key and kind of the very stubborn area of resistance. Now, that's not to say that the price can't break above both of those. It can. In fact, if it were to be able to do that, that would just be a very impressive sign of power. But nonetheless, these are going to be the two main areas of resistance to watch here headed into Friday. And then if there is any sort of pullback, key level to watch from that angle down there, that purple line there, 50 period moving average. And, that's definitely an important level that you want to see the price stay above, because if the price were to drop down below there, well, now all of a sudden you'd have the price having gone right back to where it was. I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and the monster beast move continues. I'm going to go ahead and just delete these lines out of there. They serve their purpose. And in the very near term now, there's another pattern here that has formed. I mean, really, the price is essentially right at the top of the pattern, right around this resistance area right here. And then as far as the bottom part of the pattern, we have that support. But, in fact, now that I think out, I'm not even going to draw that, because even if the price were to break below that level, I mean, sure, it matters from like a very, very narrow pattern standpoint, but from the overarching standpoint, everything is still perfectly fine because you have so many areas of support. I mean, like I said, and I'm not saying this will occur, but technically the price could come all the way down here, and you'd still have a low there, you'd have a low there, you'd have lows down here. You envision those as stair steps. Stair steps would still be plenty upwards. So that's why, no need to really focus too much on that near-term level of support, because from the overarching standpoint, the bulls are in full health. And as far as measuring and continuing to measure the bulls and their health, just use that, you guessed it, that purple line there as it continues to work itself higher and higher. So, I mean, really, there's nothing else more to say other than Tesla is in beast mode. It's remaining in beast mode as long as this thing keeps on putting in those higher highs and, most importantly, higher lows by staying above that purple line. That is by far what matters most. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the webpage itself you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free webinar. Next one, TSLL, which is an ETF that revolves around Tesla, so it looks very similar to Tesla. And nonetheless, pretty much everything I said for Tesla applies to this one. I still did want to do it just because it is a lower price point and allows you to still get involved with trading Tesla without actually having to buy the stock itself. So if you're not aware of TSLL, now you are. But like I said, very, very slim. You're saying, wow, that looks like Tesla chart. Good eye, because that's exactly what it's mimicking. So that it just offers you a lower price point, because right now you can see over here, it's down around, the $14, $13 range. So a little bit easier to trade than something that's up over $200. But like I said, don't really have anything else other to say, because what I said about Tesla applies to this one. Just more of an FYI for those of you that maybe have smaller accounts and like this price range. Next one, ZCAR, and this is a very ugly looking chart, but for you longer time viewers, you know what I'm going to say next. There can be opportunity in the ugly. But I mean, you stop and think about the fact that at one point this thing was all the way up here, and now it's dropped all the way down here. Very, very ugly. But the opportunity here is, can this thing pull back a little bit more? Because not super far away now, you have a grouping of moving averages here. The purple line you are very well aware of is the 50 period moving average, and that pink line, the 200 period moving average. So while nothing is guaranteed, is it valid? Is it plausible to think that the price could go down to those levels and then get some sort of bounce back upwards? That is certainly a more than plausible rationale. Now, like I said, there's no guarantees, so you better be good with risk management and be disciplined. I mean, if you're not, you shouldn't even be trading in the first place, but definitely shouldn't be trading situations like this. But if you do like penny stocks and you like these scenarios where something starts off looking good, then it gets really ugly, and it's one of those situations where everybody kind of gives up, and then all of a sudden everybody gives up, and that's usually when prices turn around. Then that's one of those areas where you could see it potentially turning around after everybody's given up as it's continued to pull back. So definitely ugly, but certainly some opportunity. Next one, VVPR. Same general idea here, although not nearly as ugly, and plus this one has actually shown some strength by working its way upwards here. But still, nonetheless, just the overall premise of this thing started off very strong, and now it's pulled back here. And, what I basically just drew there was a bull flag pattern because you had the big surge, you have the pullback. Now, I realize that if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, and you bought right there at the high and you wanted to buy and sell within 20 minutes, then you don't care about this bull flag because you're really underwater. But assuming you're just either looking for bull flags or care more so about the bigger picture point of view, that's what we have here. So yes, ugly pullback, but still within the broad context, the big context of things, have a bull flag pattern. So if you like bull flags, you like stocks down below the $5 mark, certainly keep an eye on VVPR. Next one here, AMZN, Amazon. And overall, just to give context, fantastic overall looking chart, even with the pullback today. I will say, though, that this area up here has really proven to be pretty stubborn, right up at the at this point, the $200 mark. Now, I realize the price did get up above $200 a couple times today, but when it came to, maintaining and building upon that momentum, was not able to do it as it, fell backwards there. But even as it fell backwards, notice right where it's going sideways, right at that purple line. So from that angle alone, good to see that the price is continuing to respect that purple line as it did both there and there. Now, if the price does fall a little bit further and separate away from that purple line, next key area of support would be down here at that level, which sits at 192.80. So from a pullback perspective, I think 192.80, very, very fascinating level, and I can see a lot of pullback players liking that level. So you could get one of those self-fulfilling prophecies where enough people think it's going to bounce there, therefore they bounce, and because enough people are thinking it's going to bounce and buying, it therefore bounces. So 192.80, kind of one of those levels that I think a lot of people will be watching. But all things considered, even with the pullback today, still a very healthy overlooking chart. Next one, TQQQ, and all I can realize, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched previous videos, but if you did, hopefully remember me putting in that level of resistance right there, and you can see it broke right there, and it hasn't been all green candles, but very close to essentially just being straight up after that breakout. So definitely some very, very impressive movement here, and essentially in blue sky breakout territory, so we'll focus on supports here, and that first level, again, being the ideal level, what make the chart look the best and healthiest moving forward. Definitely if the price can stay above 77.50, but from the overarching standpoint, you know what to watch. Just keep an eye on that purple line there, and as long as that line moves higher and higher, it's essentially a trend line that's drawing itself for you. So as long as that trend line or the price stays above that quote-unquote trend line, the overall trend still plenty in the bull's favor. And this one essentially closed at highs, so it's really just a question of where did the party officially stop today, and that was there at 79.35. So that'll be public enemy number one. But yeah, for all things considered, I would just call this a blue sky breakout. So very, very impressive day. I will get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders, like I said earlier, if you like what you saw here, then definitely go get signed up for the free training. It'll be next week, Thursday, July 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And it is a genuine live event. So if you have questions, bring them, as there is a Q&A session. So now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. We are now back on the 4-hour time frame. Remember the 4-hour time frame from when that first chart I did. So each one of these representing 4 hours. And I like to do that for Bitcoin because it is open 24/7. And in order to make this video relevant for as long as possible, this just makes that that much easier. So as of now, as I speak, the battle continues with this very important line that I've mapped out before, right here at 60,200. So that'll be question number one you need to ask yourself. Whether you're watching this video an hour after I upload it or 20 hours after I upload it, where is the price at relative to 60,200? If you are answering the question that the price is down below there, not a good sign. But the next immediate follow-up question would be, where's the price at relative to these lows down here at 58,400? If you're answering the question that the price is also down below there, that is telling you that the bears are back in control and the bears are making pretty significant progress back in the overall trend's favor, which would be in the downwards direction. But if you're saying, well, Clay, actually the price is up above 60,200, that in and of itself, good solid victory, because that would imply that at least this current action here is either continuing to consolidate or has actually worked its way back upwards. And any sort of working its way back upwards is a good thing, because right now, the key thing that needs to be avoided, assuming, of course, you're bullish, is you don't want to see the price revisit these lows, and you definitely don't want to see the price drop down below those lows. That's why I say any sort of answering of the question that the price is still up above 60,200, that says that Bitcoin, I'm not going to say is doing marvelous, but it's at least maintaining itself. It's not allowing the bears to gain any sort of further momentum compared to what they've had from right there. As I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to definitely get signed up for this training, because what you learn about can and definitely should be used within your crypto and Bitcoin trading also. So again, it'll be next week, Thursday, July 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Go get signed up for it and bring your questions, as like I said, there will be that live Q&A. As far as the top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, do a couple things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment below. Like I said, if you have a request, put that down in the comment section, and I'll do my best to get to it. But thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoy your 4th of July. Happy Independence Day to you fellow Americans, and I will see you back on Friday. And like I said, go get signed up for that free training.